Yeah, I am. All right, we've got another news update here. The Biden administration has approved even more loan relief. It's odd the things that they're spending money on. They'll keep raising interest rates. They'll keep squeezing people that are trying to get into the real estate market. They're not creating more jobs, but they're going to be relieving certain people of student debt. So, Kyle, what do you have for us on this story?
Yeah, so I got an article actually from ed.gov. It's interesting because they kind of leaked this out and announced it yesterday pretty late. So this is sort of new information that just came out, but wanted to jump on here and share it with everybody else. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and walk you through what this is and what this means for all of us. So Biden-Harris administration announces an additional $9 billion in student debt relief. So they actually have some cool state-by-state data showing the relief for the income-driven repayment and public service loan forgiveness. So that's the first important thing to know is the people who are going to be forgiven, their student loan debts are going to be wiped away, gone, never to be seen again, where you guessed it, people that have been working in public service for the last decade or so. So the Biden-Harris administration announced yesterday that an additional 125,000 Americans have been approved for $9 billion in debt relief through fixes the U.S. Department of Education has made to income-driven repayment and public service forgiveness, and granting automatic relief for borrowers with total and permanent disabilities. Today's announcement brings the total approved debt cancellation to $127 billion for nearly 3.6 million Americans. So the first question is, where does that $127 billion come from? It comes from you. It comes from the taxpayers. Now, some of this I think is good, right? For people that are that have permanent disabilities and they can't pay back that money, then yeah, there's probably some debt relief and some help that needs to come. But lots and lots of money has been paid towards this $127 billion for nearly 3.6 million. So I'm going to jump in, share a little bit of the details about the most recent $9 billion and who that's for. So 5.2 billion of it is going towards 53,000 borrowers under the public service loan forgiveness programs. Another 2.8 billion was for nearly 51,000 additional borrowers through fixes to the income-driven repayment plans. These are the borrowers who have been in repayment for 20 or more years but never got the relief that they were entitled to. And then another $1.2 billion for nearly 22,000 borrowers who have a total or permanent disability have identified. So really a small sliver of that was for 22,000 borrowers, the people that actually had real medical permanent disabilities. So interesting to see. David, what are your kind of initial thoughts on what we're seeing so far and how this would just impact regular people like me and you?
It's hard for me to see how this is going to help the economy. I mean, there's always an argument that can be made where they say, well, if we forgive debt, the person has more money to spend. You still want to do that wisely. You want to be forgiving debt of people that are going to be like producing more revenue for the country. So small business owners, people that are employing people, someone that's injecting productivity into the economy. I'd rather see this as opposed to what you're presuming would be people that went to school, got an education, and then just said, you know what, this is not helping me. I can't get a job with it. Sometimes school is good. You and I both have college educations. I don't think we regret going to school, but we also went and got degrees that we thought would help us get jobs, right? You don't just go to school to go to school. And I think that's probably what the criticism against this would be, is you have people that took out a lot of student debt. Somebody had to pay for that. And now we're taking tax dollars to pay it off where it's not necessarily stimulating the economy. So Kyle, let's say that someone is in the position where they're getting this money, they're getting their debt forgiven. What should they do? Should they go run up their credit cards? Should they do absolutely nothing and stay living at home? What if somebody's getting some of this debt relief and they want to use this opportunity to provide for their financial future? What are some options?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, there's basically two camps, right? There's the people that have their student loan debt and they were not part of this group. They did not get it forgiven. But then there are the people that did get it forgiven, right? And I think forgiven is the key word, right? Key word in that you have been given grace. You've been given the opportunity to go out and do something different, to do something new. People that have been paying back these loans for 10 or 20 years have had a big chunk that they've been paying every month going towards that debt. And now it's been wiped away. It's gone. This should not force the situation where you think you can just run rampant all over because you have this new discretionary income that you haven't had. Instead, this is your opportunity to be smart with your money, right? This is your opportunity to use this in a way that can help the economy, that can put you in a better financial position. I think too many times people that are given a little extra grace, whether that be by the government or somebody else, we take that for granted, right? And
Mm.
we don't take our that responsibility as seriously. So this is your opportunity. Go start a side hustle. Go start a business. Go start investing in smart assets, right? Looking at real estate, looking at the things that you need to do to put yourself in a position to win, to put your family in a position to win down the road. But don't take this opportunity as something where you can just squander it away and go spend all the extra money sitting on a beach sipping a Mai Tai.
Good point there. Especially the fact that when you recognize you've been given grace, you should make the most of it rather than just expect it's going to happen, right? Like it can become a dangerous habit when people get in the pattern of complaining, making themselves a victim, receiving something in return, and instead of being grateful for it, they just expect it was supposed to happen because then the behavior doesn't change. And that's
Yep.
really where the danger comes from. When you get yourself into a mess, like taking on a bunch of debt, and you don't change the behaviors that led you there, somebody bailing you out is just a guarantee you're going to go back there before. You see this with people in substance abuse or really any kind of unhealthy behaviors. The world works in a certain way where there's natural consequences that usually cause us to change behavior. So when you're looking for a way around that, it can cause problems. Kyle, what are some of the things that you're seeing from the people that are in Spartan League or other communities you have where they're putting their money towards something that's either making them money or maybe paying off debt to be able to save some money?
Yeah, that's a great point. The first thing is you have to take an accurate look of where you're at, right? If I was to go in to my doctor today and get a checkup, he would take a bunch of labs, do a bunch of blood work, figure out how I am doing healthy wise, right? How's my overall health? You also have to look at your financial situation, right? What is your financial health right now? Do you have debt? What kind of debt is it? Do you have student loan debt? Do you have credit card debt? Are you spending more than you make every single month, right? Those are the things you need to look at first. Once you have an understanding of where you're at, then you can focus on what David talks about in his books, the pillars of building wealth, right? How's your offense? How's your defense? And how's your investing? Right. And so, specifically with people in the Spartan League, what we're seeing is a lot of people are paying down debt way faster than they would have in the past. A lot of people are finding things in their financial budget audits, right? Things that double subscriptions. I was one of them included, right? Where I had two subscriptions to the same exact
Mm.
streaming service that I didn't need. Canceling unnecessary things, right? Figuring out the difference between a want and a need, because once you have those core behavioral changes, those disciplinary changes, it puts you in a better position to be successful with your investing. Not to mention, you're just around a lot of smart people that are doing the same thing or doing more and better things that you want to do yourself.
All right, so let's sum up the four things that we can take from this news to help our own position. One, debt accountability versus personal responsibility. Appreciate the $9 billion in relief, but prioritize personal financial choices. Number two, financial education. Understand that when you are taking on debt, you are taking on an obligation to pay something back, and it's not just free. Number three, smart investments. Think about what you're investing your money in. If you spent money on a degree that is not going to help you make money, that was a bad investment. Many times, consumer debt is a bad investment. Think like an investor and you'll make smarter choices because you'll expect a return. And four, plan for right now. Don't expect someone else to bail you out. Start making the changes that you need to make to get out of poor financial decisions. Don't expect a bailout because then your behavior will change and that will set you up to be able to handle the financial success that comes later. Much like a weightlifter who wants to be really strong, if you just put 500 pounds on the bar, they would crush themselves. You have to build up to be able to handle financial prosperity, which means starting with being faithful with what you're given right now. Kyle, people want to learn more about the mastermind where we help people with this. Where can they go?
Yeah, very simple. You can go to the website, spartanleague.com. I'm going to put it right up here. You can find out everything you need to know about the mastermind, what goes into it there. But also, you have an opportunity to reach out to me. You can actually reach out to me on Instagram at Kyle Renke, KYLERENKE. If you have any questions like that, more than happy to help.
And make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click the notifications button, because we're going to be going live every day. And you want to be notified of these short but sweet news segments. We're here to help you build your wealth and help you be successful. Kyle, where can people find you online?
At Kyle Renke, or you can email me, KyleRenke at kw.com. But yeah, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button.
There you go. We will be back in a little bit with another story for y'all. Have a good one.
See ya.